Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Kaneohe Higashi Hongwanji Sunday service, August 7th. It's so nice to welcome our friends from the Windward Buddhist temple. A lot of you look so familiar because I know you live on this side too in Kaneohe, so welcome, and we hope we can do a lot more joint activities and services like this. So before we get started, we'll have our offering of incense of both Reverend Marco Sawada and Reverend Bert Sumikawa. If you're able to rise, we'd like to have us get started with a moment of meditation and followed by Vandana, Ti-Sarana, and the three treasures. This is found in our service book on page 46. Vandana, Ti-Sarana, followed by three treasures on page 46.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, dhammam saranam gacchami, sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Difficult is to receive life in human form. Now we are living it. Difficult to hear the Buddha Dharma. Now we hear it. If you do not receive awakening in this present life, then what life can we hope to receive it? That's Reverend to take refuge in three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we together as one begin the great path of enlightenment, holding our side the supreme aspiration. I take refuge in the Dharma, may we together as well enter the storehouse of the Dharma and attain the true wisdom as deep as creation. I take refuge in the Sangha, may we together as well unite in harmony, strive to live for the enlightenment for all things. Incomparable, deep and profound Dharma, difficult to encounter, even to countless of age of cultures. Now we are privileged to hear to receive it. Let's endeavor to truly understand the true meanings of the Buddha Dharma. Namo.
Please be seated. We will now have the chanting of TANBUTSUGE on page 20 to 39 in our service book. Again, TANBUTSUGE, SANBUTSUGE, page 20 to 39.
No, not 20, sorry, Charlene, it's page 57.
Oh, so sorry, Kate. 50, page 57. To 61. Okay.
O Genki Turn to page 65. Nishi Budoku Yogo Seizai Ohoraishin Ojo. I ask your palms together in Gassho. I take refuge in the Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. We vow to give equally to all this matter too, together to raise the mind of the body and awaken to the real arm of surrender and joy. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
We'll now have SEIZA 5-minute quiet sitting meditation led by Reverend Sawada.
Okay, good morning everyone. Thank you for coming today. Usually in our Hongwanji school, we don't have so like a zazen meditation, but in some way. We have one way to call it SEIZA. Sei is Shizuka. Shizuka means quiet. Za is sit. Silent quit meditation. Yeah, this is one sensei called Okada Torajiro Okada sensei. He started this in the first, maybe the final of the 19th to 20th century there. This is some people follow this kind of tool. You prepare to listen. Yeah. Then we do today Seiza. Seiza is like zazen. Yeah. Meditation don't makes you better, don't make you nothing. Meditation is the only way to you come back for yourself. Yeah? This is what you do. It's not for nothing but to come back for yourself. Yeah? This is Seiza. Usually we sit, you don't put yours back, you come a little bit from there. You put your hands there. You can stay like that, put your right hand there, here, so that, or you can put your hands this way if you feel comfortable there. We project about, you look at 4 degrees, about that 145 degrees. And you only breathe in from your nose and breathe out from your nose there. And the last one, you concentrate in your breathing in this point called the tanden. Tanden, you put a little bit more concentration there, and you do about 5 minutes, okay? We are going to do about 5 minutes. You can do 3 minutes, but if you prefer, you can do 5 minutes. So 5 minutes. Sorry for I'm a little confused. Usually you use a small computer, I forget there so many things to do that I forget. Okay. And we sit comfortable there. You project a little bit. You put your line of your body a little straight. And we are going to do for you breathe slowly from your nose, and you breathe out from your nose slowly. Okay? More slowly. Take your cup. Let's go to start. Go. Breathe in. Slowly. Breathe out more slowly. You don't need to think nothing, only put your concentration. Breathe in, breathe out. Thank you.
We will now have our Dharma talk by Reverend Marco Sawada.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Before I start my Dharma talk, Master Renyo is the portrait in your left side. Remind us 3 important things 500 years ago. How to listen with the heart. 1, you should listen as you are listening this message for the very first time. 2, you should listen as this message is for you alone. 3, you should listen as this is the last time you will ever do so in your life. Master Renyo, 500 years ago. And thank you. I'm really happy you from Windward Buddhist temple come here. We are going to do this joint Sunday service. Oh, we never had so many people here. We are really impressed. This came back from pandemic situation, was really good, yeah. More energy. Of course, we have a lot of insecurities. We don't feel like if I can do, I cannot do. This makes us a little insecure. What kind of things we have to do? This is the reason it's important that you listen to the people. And Sensei Rijin Yasuda, one of the good thinkers, and that's Sensei Rijin Yasuda in the Hongwanji sect, yeah, all Hongwanji. Sensei Rijin used to say, if you are a good Samaritan, if you are a good person, yeah, you continue suffering, you continue going through this samsara, the cycle of suffering into life and death. You never can. What does mean good person? Oh, a good Samaritan. Yeah. What we think we are. Yeah, we do the correct things in our life. You follow the rules. You pay your tax. You do everything to stay a good person, no make problem with the other, but we cannot escape from these situations of life. Yeah? We continue suffering, and because when you say good person, yeah, good person means we stay in a situation in moralistic and ethical way. You have to follow things. But being Buddhist, you cannot stop in being good, because we continue suffering. Now we say, I'm a good person. For example, my father was in Second War as a Japan army soldier there. Yeah, he was really called that the very weaker battalion there in Japan. But from that weaker battalion, from 400 troops went there, only 17 came back, like my dad. But my dad took Tanisho, the Thoughts of Shinran, written by Yuyen, took that one, and my dad used to to write, to read, but because this, he had ideas about what does mean life, overcome from the perspective of ours doing good or bad. Because when you are a good person, we can condemn people different from us. Yeah? This is all things is impermanent in life. Being impermanent, we every time we cannot stay in this situation. You say, for example, you can fight with your parents because they are against your marriage. You marry one guy there, but for the situation, you were fighting, but you could get married. You could get married with your husband, your wife. But in certain circumstances of life, there is situation when we have to decide to kill your wife or your situation. Or some people become very angry about some situation and they make trouble each other. There is reason human cannot stay as a good person. Yeah, you are moved by conditions. Yeah, and if you say you cannot kill, I cannot kill 1,000 people, but depend of the conditions come, you have to kill. Instead, you don't have anything feeling to kill people. Yeah, this is what this good person will continue suffering in our life. Being good is not enough. As a Buddhist, yeah, as a Buddhist teacher, where you stand, you cannot stop in only kind of this being good. Being good is important. Yeah, you have to follow your ethical and moral, moralistic way of life, but this is not enough. For what Sensei Yasuda was telling us is about if you stop in being good, you continue the same way. And if you go to something you don't really think about, you really don't feel the situation as it is. Because I'm Christian, I cannot come to this temple, I cannot listen to this. Is we wear one kind of clothes only here. Yeah? This is important that you be in Buddhism. We say a seeker. A seeker, where you stand. Where you stand is important. If you stand only in situations, or you stand in the truth. You say truth, but how you can say truth? So I say this is not. It's true for you. Yeah. This is a question is important too, because when you say seeker, seeker means not we put our judgment for the point of view of good or bad. We only live as a good, bad, positive, negative, because we human, we can only judge. We have our own human ruler. Yeah? Only our put judgment about, but by people today or third people, but each one has his own way of thinking, his own reality is different. Yeah, what is right for you is not right for me, but I say I'm right, you say I'm right, but your right and my right is different. This is the reason where we have to stand as a Buddhist. Buddhist, not only Buddhist, but as a human being. You have to stand as a seeker. A seeker is not your decision come to you. This is the reason we have to listen. You have to listen, because listen means an instant reaction. Yeah, yeah. Listen is not because you live only bring records from the past or project for the future. But we forget this moment right now. We can live only moment by moment. And since by moment you cannot grab. This means seeker, means stand. You stand from the point of view of Buddha. But Buddha, today we are at the SANBUTSUGE or TANBUTSUGE for our second, and it started, Go Gengi Gi. And Ananda is telling to Shakyamuni Buddha. Ananda wasn't at that time, he wasn't the Buddha, but he looked at Shakyamuni Buddha and said, how your face is so shiny, how you have this energy. But Ananda, Shakyamuni Buddha asked him, Ananda, how do you realize about that? I realize by myself. Yeah? I realize. This is Buddha and the Buddha. Ananda wasn't the Buddha there, but the Buddha and the Buddha talking, recognize each one as a Buddha, as an energy. I don't know what I can say. Yeah, this is like that. That what we have to do as a seeker is where you stand. Sometimes it's really hard because the situation said you can come here, you cannot come here, you have to be vaccinated, you have to shot 4 times, you have to do that. But we are not sure about nothing. We are not sure. If you come here, you get COVID, or we are not sure about nothing. Yeah? Well, you can say right now, you are here now. You are here now, and you have this opportunity to listen. You have opportunity to breathe. You have opportunity to say bad math. You have opportunity to enjoy people here that we have right now. This is the reason where you stand is important. And Buddhism teaches us stand in the Dharma instead of the true reality. Judgment, good or bad, I believe, I don't believe, but you realize about true or false. True or false. Yeah? Of course, we say true or false because we can only judge the things from the point of view of dualistic way, good or bad, right or wrong. This is human. Then, it's true or false is not your decision. This is come from a lot of history, a lot of people suffered before us, continue suffering for us, and making a lot of things for us stay. That reason, when Ko Gengi Gi, that what is, oh, you look so shiny, Shakyamuni Buddha. It's like we, as a Buddhist, we have to aspire to be Buddha. Yeah? When you aspire to be Buddha, you are seeker. You stand in the teachings of Buddha. Not you say Buddha, but could say you go in deep of your condition as a human being. You try to understand you as a human. Yeah? That we are not different. We think you are Superman, superwoman, but we cannot take nothing from this word. Yeah? You can think about this, about that, but we are not sure. We are not sure about it. Only we are sure is impermanence. Impermanence, dependent, selfless. Selfless means that egoless. Yeah? You try to go in the deeper reality. Reality doesn't matter if you accept or don't accept. You only recognize. Yeah? And Buddhism don't take you for nothing. Yeah? Only brings you for the place you never left. This is the true reality right now. This is our path as a Buddhist is being a seeker, not a good person. A seeker where you stand. You stand in the true reality, or you stand in our values of human in moralistic way. You don't have. So if you don't know where you stand, you cannot get the next destination. Yeah? This is the reason you have your GPS, you have your map, but you don't know where you are. Yeah? You go there, you go feel. This is what we live that way. This is the reason. Yeah? We have to know where we are stand. We stand here right now. Yeah? And when you don't know, you ask. You ask. This is the reason. Yeah? You have to listen. This is the first time. Every time is first time. You have only first time. Yeah? And this message, oh, good for my husband, good for, no, good for you. If you don't put, yeah, it's difficult to encounter these teachings. It's very difficult, yeah. But more difficult you put these teachings as your life. Yeah? This is what where you stand means we continue following. Oh, people say, you have to do this, you have to do that, and we follow that. The majority opinion isn't the truth. Doesn't mean it's the truth. This is the reason you have to put the question every time you ask, is this, yeah? What Sensei is telling, is this? But the history, the tradition, this kind of thing is all symbol. But in the symbol, there is the truth. There is a lot of history there. That's the reason this symbol have meanings for us. Yeah? You have to listen to this symbol too. Thank you for today. Really appreciate your presence. Put your hands together in Gassho. Namo Amida. Namo Amida.
Thank you, Sensei. I'd now like to have our Reverend Bert Sumikawa.
No, look for you.
Oh,
People.
do you want to do the?
No, people, yeah, people.
Okay.
People.
We now like to have membership expression or sharing of their thoughts at this time. So, Sensei.
Hey, someone can go there and share their thoughts there.
Oh, then that's fine. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Prudence Cusano. I'm the current president of Windward Buddhist Temple. And Reverend Bert asked us to share some thoughts. But what I thought I would do is, first of all, thank you for allowing us to visit your temple. You know, we do not have services, Sunday services in August. So it gives us a chance to go and visit other temples and do other things. And so it's we are actually basically that. So we're finally happy to meet you and share the Dharma together. Thank you, Sensei. And so rather than my just sharing what we do at Windward Buddhist Temple, I thought I would brought two more members that I've asked to share. So first I'd like to introduce you to one of our founding members. You know, Windward Buddhist Temple was at one time called, well, it's still called Kailua Hongwanji Mission, but he can share that with you. Keiji Kukino, we fondly call him Kuki. So he's been a member of our temple since it was founded. So I thought he would be able to share with you a brief background about our temple. So, Kuki.
Thank you. You know, when I joined Kailua Hongwanji back in 1965, I'm not sure whether the Nakanishis were already members, but they were, I think, members around that time. And Charlene used to come to our Sunday school. Yeah, at that time, we had about 130, maybe more than 130 member families. But over the years, the numbers declined drastically. And at the turn of the century, around the year 2000, we had less than 50 families. And there were many years when we didn't even have a minister. The building was getting old, in our old cottage that was converted to a temple. And it was deteriorating badly, so it was not accessible to the handicapped or to the aged, and it was getting ready to collapse. And so there were people who were saying, maybe we should close shop and join the ONDOKUSAN or Jikoin, or maybe even join Higashi Hongwanji. Then one day in the late 2003, one of our members was getting old and be put into, get herself into hospice, called me and said, Cookie, called me to her house. And said, Cookie, if I were to leave some of my assets to the Hongwanji, what would you do? And so I told her that we had been discussing for a long time the possibility of rebuilding or building a new temple, and let it be a multi-purpose type building that can function as a temple and also as a place where we can also serve the community. And she says, sounds good. I like the idea. I trust you, so I leave it in your hands. And a few days later, she put herself into hospice. A few months later, she passed away. And then I found out that the bank called and said, okay, she has assets that she turned over to the temple, her house, plus assets that about amounted to a little less than $900,000. So wow, that was a little bit more than I anticipated, but that gave us seed money to build a new temple. So we called the board together and we started planning on how, but there were many, many things we had to do. First of all, we needed to change the zoning of the property from residential to commercial. And we had to get an architect to design the place and all that. And so it took us a while, and after quite a few years, we were able to get started. And we got a contractor. And I told the contractor, I wanted to have the building completed by the end of February, was it 2003 or 2004? Yeah. Oh, 2004, yeah, 2014. That's the year, February 2014. And the contractor was able to complete the building for us. And so we held the dedication of the new temple jointly with the 10th anniversary of Dorothy Ono, who was the major contributor to this building. And with that, we were able to have a number of new activities. We were able to draw new members, and we are what we are today. Thank you.
Thank you, Kuki. The third member that I wanted to introduce to you is our current Vice President of our board, Cynthia Rodriguez. She's going to share with you some of the kinds of activities we are doing that we think has helped in not only finding new members, but I think some old members. Cynthia herself came back after many years. She grew up there, but when we had the new building, that gave us an opportunity to reach out to these people. So I'll have Cynthia go ahead and share that with you. And so before she starts, I just want to take this opportunity again to say thank you for having us here. You have a beautiful temple that's nestled right below the ko'olaus. So I enjoy the breeze, and it's not air-conditioned breeze. It's wonderful. So we look forward again to be working together in several other activities. I know there's one major one coming up in October. So that's a good start. So we focus on our Sunday services starting in September because we don't have services in August. So please come by and join us on our Sunday services. So Cynthia.
Okay. Good morning. So although a bit hesitant, our members are slowly returning to Sunday services. Since this is happening, we are mindfully bringing back some of our activities. Therefore, on a monthly basis, we have an intergenerational Sunday where we use our hands and mind to create things such as artwork, edible ice cream, and other exciting and fun sessions. Members that have birthdays during that month are also recognized that Sunday. We also have a bingo Sunday with prizes. Everyone seems to have fun, and there are many, many funny stories will remain within the walls of the temple. Our country market has just started a quarterly sale for those in attendance at the time. This year, in conjunction with the annual Earth Day event, our Sangha picked up rubbish along the main street fronting our temple. We filled 15 large bags of rubbish. An annual visit was made recently by a group of our members to a rather unkept cemetery located in the Marine base in Waimanalo. A short service was held by Reverend Sumikawa, and flowers were put on each gravesite. Next month, we will be walking in Kailua town and dropping in on businesses along the way as part of the annual Peace Day event, and passing out cranes, tsuru, and Reverend Sumikawa will be leading us. So these are just some activities that we have returned or resumed, and we'll continue to add more as the overall health situation improves on Oahu. And we welcome you all to join us too. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, all of you. Like Cookie said, I was actually started membership here when I don't even remember the minister because I was a toddler. Our first family joined Kailua because, again, the English-speaking, Japanese-speaking reverends. We had a Japanese speaker here, I remember, and we would always beg my dad, Dad, why do I have to get up so early on Sunday? I cannot understand what he's saying. And lo and behold, somehow we were members and joined the Kailua temple. And yeah, Cookie, I don't know what year it was or what grade, but I know it was elementary school. Gerald and I were in Shirasu, I think, yeah, first sensei. And then Reverend Makino. And then after college, growing up, I went away to Boston, relocated later to Seattle, didn't go to temple at all, maybe went to the Bon Dance in Seattle, and then landed up in Maui. So when I was in Maui somehow, I reconnected with Reverend Ronald Kobata. So Ron Kobata was then at the Kahului Temple, and I became a resident on Maui, landed up 19 years. So Kahului member for a lot, and then we moved to Makawao, Pukalani. So when Reverend Kobata moved up to Makawao, I also changed temple from Kahului to Makawao. I was there for Reverend Umitani, and so I know a lot of the ministers through the Nishi side. And this has been very special for me today because I've always wanted to have things joint, with the Nishi and Higashi. So I'm so thrilled that we're going to do the Bon Odori. And I'm really, really excited to see if we can do a lot more things. You certainly have a lot more active members. As you can see, there's more members from Windward here today than our membership. We have about 48 Gojikai members. So we may have a nice hondo, very big, very spacious. But again, like anything else, it's the people that make the temple, right? The organization. So thank you for having a very active membership there that we can also partake and share with you in your successes and membership, regrow our membership for our members to come back. We have had new members come in, Carrie and Darren in the back, during the COVID period. So again, COVID was not just a negative time for us. It certainly brought new members too. We were very hesitant to shut our doors because we have a few members that needed to come out from their homes, being shut in and you can't do this, can't do that, as a place for every Sunday. So we left our doors open. We had our pews are sectioned off where you could sit and all of that. And my personal story, long story short, but I was one of the first COVID people that had COVID. I was on the ship, the Diamond Princess ship, back early in 2020 in January. So when I went through that whole ordeal and survived it all, I was very adamant about continuing to have a place where people could still gather safely, hand sanitize, mask and all, and still continue to have the temple. So right now we are trying very hard to get our members back, as we said, because we have a lot of active ones that haven't come back. So yeah, but thank you again for this opportunity. And I want to give credit to the two having to collaborate and agree to put this together and do this. Sensei Sumikawa, thank you so much. We wouldn't have this. I remember when Koen Kikuchi was here, Sensei invited us to go there, and we did, and then Koen left, so we couldn't continue. So thank you, Sensei, I really appreciate this. So without further ado, Sensei, your message.
Good morning, everyone. You know, the Hongwanji was one at one time. This is back up until the early, before the 1600s. There was only one Hongwanji, and there was only one Monshu. And the Monshu at that time, I believe, was Kaneohe. Then what happened was that the Hongwanji was up in where Osaka Castle is today. And Oda Nobunaga wanted that site because it was very strategic. So he asked the Hongwanji to vacate the site, and they refused. So there was a 10-year war. 10-year war. The Iko Iki, as they say, the Hongwanji people from all over came to support the Hongwanji and to fight off this warrior people. And then finally, what happened was he had the bright idea to blockade the river. So they finally agreed to leave. So they left. One person didn't want to leave, and that was Kaneohe, I believe, right? Kaneohe refused to leave. So they made the Monshu was named Junior for a while. That Junior was the second son of that Monshu. And then, because the Hongwanji was so large and powerful, what they did was they separated it. So now we're going to have an East Hongwanji and we're going to have a West Hongwanji. Junior is going to be the Monshu of the West Hongwanji. Kaneohe going to be the Monshu of the East Hongwanji. So today, they're all still cousins, so to speak. Shunan Shonin often speaks of the ocean. He often speaks of the rivers from various locations flowing into the ocean and becoming one taste with the ocean. Similarly, I believe that the Hongwanjis, Higashi and Nishi, although we come from separate areas, we all flow into this same, and we have to appreciate that. We do appreciate that. And so today, we come together as one. One ocean in the vast Dharma ocean of infinite wisdom and compassion. And so I hope that we can continue this getting together with activities every so often. Incidentally, if you look at the altar on the right-hand side, you cannot see it now, but there's a shotoku. And on the left-hand side, the scroll of the seven masters. The reason why I bring this up is because we recently acquired those two scrolls and we have them up on our altar as well. So when you have chance after the service, you come up and take a look at it and see. All right? Thank you very much. Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you.
Thank you again, everyone, for joining us today. If you could all rise, we'd like to have the singing of Gatha ONDOKUSAN II in Japanese on page 113 in our service book.
Your usual Ondokusan yuta, né?
Gatha Nenbutsu on page 127. Please be seated. I have just a couple announcements for our temple. We have our Motai Nai sale, and that's a plant and rummage sale that we do. We've kind of moved the dates around, so this year it's coming up on September 10th, which is a Saturday, 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And we usually we'll have it out here in our parking area outside. We put up tents and do our fundraising. So please join us if you can. If you want to donate anything, we tell people to call the temple. We can pick up if we need to pick things up, or if you're driving by, you can drop it off in our garage. And again, we do a plant and a rummage sale. Yeah. And then of course on October 1st, we're so excited to do the joint Obon. So Cookie, Cynthia, and a few of us have been meeting and with the Windward Mall, and that's on Saturday at 3 o'clock starting, or at 4? 4 now, okay, 4 to 7. Yeah, 8. We're gonna go to the end of when the shopping center closes. Ooh, that's great. Okay, so we have a lot of dance troops set up, and our fundraising for food, and Kaneohe is gonna try and do a Japanese goods table. So whether it's used yukata, obi, and Japanese wares, we wanna sell some of that. And then of course the food items, Windward is gonna have their andagi and pickled vegetables and all kinds of things. So please share with all of our members and friends so that they can come and join us at the Windward Mall. Any announcements for your temple?
Yeah, October
Okay.
30th, we have our Honko, maybe Sensei Sumikawa.
Oh yeah, Honko service. Bert Sumikawa Reverend's gonna come.
October
What's the date on that?
October?
October.
Last Sunday of October.
Okay, the last Sunday of October,
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Yeah.
October 30th.
Okay.
Sensei
Alright.
Bert Sumikawa will be our guest speaker. So if you are going to join, please come.
Okay, so please stay. We're gonna have light lunch next downstairs, so please join us. Okay. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And thank you for Manjus and those we are taking there.